Hi, this is Christy, ChristyMatthewsOnline.com, ChristyJMatthews.com. Hope you're having a great day. Wow. I I listened to a podcast. Tom Ballou interviewed Dr. Michael Gervais. Oh my gosh, there's so much to unpack here for you. But there was one item within the interview that I thought was really important, and I wanted to share it with you. And the term is FOPO. Do you know what FOPO is? Well, I'll get into that in just a moment. But let me establish who Dr. Michael Gervais is if you don't know who he is. Now, he is a high performance psychologist, and his most notable work is with the Seattle Seahawks, along with Pete Carroll. Now, their organization has had tremendous success winning on the field, being able to, bring Super Bowl to Seattle. But the workings that go on behind the scenes as to why he can take very powerful, physically strong people with very supercharged emotions and allow this team to work together under three concepts. And it's remarkable how they've been able to do this. And I'm going to share in just a moment what it is that he did. Now, Michael Gervais coaches high-level executives, Fortune 500 companies. He's well-established. His articles have been peer-reviewed and published. So he is the real deal. Now, the focus, just to try to make this simple and not make this a long, rambling video, I will unpack all my notes in my blog post. But let me tell you about what happened with the Seattle Seahawks. There's three components that he works with the athletes. One is loving yourself. Two, love of the team. And three, having the mission. It's a tribal mentality, really. And when you think about it, today we're being told, anti-tribalism and all of these things. And I would be willing to bet to sit down and chat with this man that is going in the wrong direction. What we should be doing within our tribe is, one, love ourselves, like I say, love the others within the tribe. And then as a tribe working together to accomplish what he calls their mission. And in terms of the Seattle Seahawks, let me give an example of what happened. And this was on the news. I'm going to try to find the outtake. I'm not sure if I'll be able to do it. But one of the athletes was just pushed to his emotional limits. And he was seeing red. He came off the sidelines very angry. And some of his teammates were approaching him one by one and try to talk with him, and they just couldn't get through to him. So what the team just naturally did was come and circle around him, and basically the teammate was bouncing off of the other teammates. They were all trying to get to him, saying things to him, and they, as a team, they were able to connect with them, whereas an individual was not able to take him out of his emotional state and have him stay mission focused. See, this is a lot of what we do as individuals, is that we get out of connection with those three things. So what is FOPO? Well, FOPO, you've probably heard of YOLO, which is you live only once. You have FOMO, which is fear of missing out. So of course, FOPO is fear of other people's opinions. And boy, is this something that impacts us all as we're trying to move forward in life and trying to improve ourselves, whether it's on the job or within our business. Fear of other people's opinions is a game stopper for most of us. And it starts with going back into our brain and understanding how our brain works. See, our brain is a primitive brain. It has not caught up with our modern day world. Our modern day world is so rapidly paced and changes so rapidly that our brain cannot keep up with that. And it's really geared to protect us. And it goes back to the primitive times of, if you will, without getting into all of the areas of the brain, of having the high road and the low road, where the high road is basically the thinking part of the brain, and the low road is the emotion part. That's the one that's picking up feelings and signals. So in our primitive world, when we were running from saber-toothed tigers and being fearful of being eaten by a saber-toothed tiger, what would happen, we would feel those emotions, and it would quickly go to our thinking part of our brain and says, run, for protection. Well, that part of our brain is still doing its thing. And there are no more saber-toothed tigers running after us. Our current saber-toothed tiger is the fear of other people's opinions, of what they think of us. And one of the most significant ways this shows up is in some sort of public speaking, whether you're speaking to a large group of people or in a classroom environment or even a small group. Having the fear of raising the hand, of maybe answering or asking a question, or even speaking to a group of people. So the real fear is not being accepted within that tribe. And so when you get back to the first three steps of self-love, love of the tribe or the team, and then ultimate mission. And in that scenario is you got to love yourself, love everybody around you, and then still have the mission. The mission might be asking your question, answering the question, speaking to the group. That is the mission. So what we're doing when FOPO appears is that we're just trying to protect ourselves. And the way that we protect ourselves is to become hypercritical of ourselves. And we're doing that before other people can become critical of us. And that's how we're protecting ourselves, so that we don't have that emotional hit, which causes panic and anxiety. Michael Gervais' work is about helping people push to the outer limits of their emotional capacity and becoming aware of the feelings that are occurring, the thoughts, the emotions, and being able to train those emotions so that you can push yourself out more emotionally without creating reaction, so that your body is not having that fight or flight mechanism engage. So there's a couple things that he talks about. I'm going to flip my page. And what they have found to train our awareness and apply it to FOPO is to do two things. There's two pillars: mindfulness and wisdom. And how do you get to mindfulness? Folks, in the sports world, they don't call mindfulness meditation because it has some sort of weak connotation, but that is really what it is. It is some sort of meditation. It is quieting yourself so that you can actually hear yourself, you can feel yourself, you can be in touch with one energy source. Once we get into touch with that one energy source of being present is when we will start learning our inner wisdom. So we can't learn wisdom. We can become educated, but it doesn't make us wise. We can become educated, and it does not necessarily mean wisdom. Wisdom comes from being centered and allowing mindfulness to create the neural connections within our brain, change the brain structure, change the energy structure so that wisdom actually is revealed. Mindfulness has been studied. Actually, it's been around for first documentations of it some 2,600 years. And there were only a few articles on it just some years ago, and there was a spike in how many accredited, reputable articles, scholarly articles that have been published within the last 10 years. If you look at a chart, it's kind of like this, and it's very high spike. And what it's saying is that there's so much research that proves that taking 8 to 20 minutes a day to sit quietly with yourself, to get into some sort of mindful practice of self-awareness, will allow the reformulation and the rewiring in your brain to take place so that wisdom will occur. That is really how you find mastery in dealing with all things, but especially when you're dealing with fear of other people's opinions. The whole goal of using mindfulness activities, becoming aware, and building those 2 pillars is so that you can move forward and love others without you really giving a doggone care about how they think about you, so that you can stay within your own mission, so that you can serve the tribe for which you're engaged with. So folks, I hope that you got some value from today's video. There's a lot of notes here to unpack, and I will do that for you in my blog post. I'll post it up later on today. If you got some value from this, would you share it with somebody else? Really appreciate it, because sharing is caring, and I really appreciate you spending some time with me. It's really awesome. Thank you so much for that. I'll see you next time, and you have a great day. Bye now.